From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the Real Zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another podcast with Conversation with Trent and Friends. Welcome to the B2G Unity TV. That's Butterfly Evolution and TK Media combined for better TV. Visit b2gunitytv.com for all your streaming needs. Good stuff. That's Tammy and I have going to come together to actually form and establish B2G Unity TV, better TV together. Good stuff. We got a hot one tonight. This is actually coming from Coach Dee. I think I'm being set up here, but we'll see what's going on with it. But the conversation is tonight, men and their emotions. Let's bring the coach in and let's see what's going on with her.
Hey there. I would never set you up.
I know you wouldn't. But that other one that sits on the Princess panel with you would. She's actually out tonight. She'll be back with us on Wednesday. No, on Sunday. I'm sorry, on Sunday. But good stuff. Men and their emotions. What were your thoughts on that? And I'll tell you my thoughts on that after doing the research.
Sure.
Let's say hi to the folks real quick. Let
me pull up the comments. I don't see anything in my comments.
You don't see anything yet? Gotcha. Okay. That's cool. Let's go ahead.
Okay. As soon as they do, I'll put up. So
gotcha.
I look at men and their emotions on a couple of different things. When I thought about this, I started thinking about school shootings, domestic violence, all that stuff. So then I start doing the statistics, and from my parenting coaching side, I know that very often we try to silence boys and their emotions. So of course that carries forward into adulthood. And so the statistics, people like to say we have a gun problem. We don't have a gun violence problem. We have a man violence problem. Because because women have the same access to guns, but women aren't going in and shooting up their schools. They're not going in and shooting up their employers.
Right.
And then people are like, well, women are the emotional ones. I'm like, everything statistically proves otherwise, but you can keep that to yourself.
I'm gonna agree with you on partial on this right in the beginning of the show, and we'll get away from my thoughts, but we'll leave my thoughts out of this on the whole gun violence thing. And
okay,
I have another thought process on that one, but I'm totally agreeing with you. Go ahead. We
have some comments. Marty Girl says, "Hi, I'm here, but I'm tired." Our buddy DJ Slash says, Grand Rising, melanated people. Greetings to the Princess panel, Coach D and video interpreter, Ms. Charlie and Mr. Epic.
What's up? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. What's going on, Martine? Thank you for being a trooper tonight. So good stuff. So my thing is, popular culture states, men often feel that they need to be self-reliant and provide for their loved ones. So it's not appropriate to express their emotions. I totally disagree with this. Notice what I said, popular culture.
Mm-hmm.
Popular culture sits us in a box, places in a box and say, this is how men, I don't know what kind of men like emotionally guys like that.
Yeah.
So it's not the norm for me and, the folks that I'm around. Yeah. I believe in balance your emotions with logic thinking. Again, balancing your emotions with logic thinking.
Well, I would go one further and say popular American culture.
Thank you.
Because popular American culture is all about this false narrative of individualism, where you pull yourself by your bootstraps, which, by the way, comes from a making fun of slaves. And
say it again for the people in the back, just in case they didn't hear it.
Oh, the false narrative of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, which actually comes from slavery, where they're making fun of slaves because they didn't have bootstraps to pull up. So This whole rugged individualism, where I do everything myself and I succeed by myself is a false narrative because
Thank you.
we do not live in a bubble. So
Thank you.
like right now, everybody's talking about how Elon Musk is a genius and everything. I'm like, Elon Musk didn't create Tesla. He bought it from somebody else who created it.
Thank you.
And what's going on with Twitter, it just should show exactly how bad his management skills are because
Absolutely.
you can't hire people and then have to fire people
And
and
then
then have to hire them right back.
And the other thing about men don't express themselves. I'm just going to go ahead and say it here tonight, since it's an independent platform. B2G Unity TV is an independent platform where we're not censored. I'm just going to say it. Black men, in my opinion, black men are not that emotional like that. They're not that. They're not that emotional like that, and they're logical. There's a ton of logical thinkers. As far as me, I'm an author. I express myself through words. I'm a writer. I'm a songwriter. I've been that way since I was a child. I've been writing songs since I was a child, professionally, everything. But I express myself through words.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another false narrative that's been placed on black men in particular.
Well, there's a reason why that narrative was placed on them. It was to keep you alive. Like, for instance...
Wait, one more time. That was a twist.
It was to keep you alive. Jim Crow, slavery, all those rules that were made to ensure that black men don't succeed, they are forced to keep their voices down so that they stay alive. You're pulled over by some police officers, and you don't know if you're going to live or die.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's all to maintain your silence is to maintain the status quo, is to stay alive. The problem is, in order to change that, we all have to fight back on it. And the problem is it's only the ones affected who are fighting back, because the ones who are not affected are benefiting from the silence.
It's a great point, Dee.
Yeah.
I didn't expect the conversation to go that way, but hey, that's a great point.
You never know where the conversation is going to go with me. You should know that by now.
Exactly. But let's talk about the average man. In my opinion, the average man expresses himself emotionally in a physical nature.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the average man will always express himself emotionally in a physical nature.
Yeah, because growing up, the average man has only been allowed to show two emotions: happiness and anger.
Right.
So you're never allowed to vent any frustration, never allowed to show any sadness. I know grown men who have gone to their mother's funeral and not cried.
That's deep.
And have no concept of how to grieve because they've never been allowed to show funerals, which is why I say we do our sons a huge disservice when we silence them when they're having emotions.
Exactly.
I was out with Xavier, and Xavier was having a moment, and his moment was because I wasn't paying attention to what was going on, and he was overstimulated. And one lady's like, he needs a slap. I'm like, why would you? If you have a moment, you want me to come up and slap you?
Right.
She's like, well, no, that's assault. I'm like, so if it's assault on you, wouldn't it be assault on a child? She's like, well, that's just discipline. I'm like, no, he is having a moment because I ignored his signs for what his threshold is. So I'm allowing him to have his moment. He'll be fine after his moment, and we will continue on with life. But you know what? So many boys don't get that. So this rate of violence is going to continue until we give them the opportunity.
So let's dig a little deeper into your numbers and I know you did extensive research on this. When you brought it up, I already knew you were prepared for the show before the show. Okay. Let's talk about the numbers.
So I'm going to stick just to domestic violence. Because the whole serial killers, gun issue, that's a whole different conversation.
Gotcha.
So these are from 2019. The rate of women murdered by a single victim, single offender, dropped from 1.57 per 100,000 in 1996 to 1.19 per 100,000 in 2019. However, it's since increased 9% since then. I give you one guess why it increased after 2019.
Why?
Because we were all home stuck together during COVID. Right? So then I looked at nationwide, there was 1,795 women were murdered by men in single victim incidents.
Mm-hmm.
Of those, 1,166 were white, 501 were black, and 53 were Asian Pacific Islander.
Bring those one more time. One more time with the racial.
One of the 1,795, 1,166 were white, 501 were black, 53 were Asian or Pacific Islander, 39 were American Indian or Alaskan Native, and in 36 cases the races were not identified.
Interesting.
91% of the victims knew their offender, and 62% it was an intimate acquaintance of the victim. And 10 times as many women are murdered by a male they know than they are by male strangers. So this is why I tell people when they're in parking lots and they've got their keys, I'm like, that's not the guy you need to worry about. It's the guy coming in your door every night saying, I love you. It's the guy who's most likely going to kill you.
That's interesting. Let's get to the comments real quick. Those guys are following in.
Let me see. All right. So Shan said, "Evening, everyone. Hi, Martine. Hi, Mark and Gentle Giant. We in the comment. Black men have us just for a year. Yes, Marty Girl. Slash says the Princess panel often proclaims that black men need to learn to express themselves emotionally. They do. When you start doing it, sir, I'll stop saying you need to do it.
Now, let's not. As far as again, I think I just debunked the whole black men don't have emotions here or what have you. But there's a way to actually again balance your emotions. There's a way that you can actually balance it. Now, I will admit that I've been balancing my emotions since I was a child because I'm a creative. I might say I'm an author, I'm a writer, a writer of songs, a writer of books, a writer of, passages, whatever. But I'll agree that some men who don't have the tools are very emotional. But I have a brother who's emotional, very emotional. He doesn't know how to balance the logical thing. He don't know how to balance it. And he knows that. He and I talk about it all the time. But there's a number of men who don't know how to balance that. But I'm not going to stick the whole stigma on all men.
No.
That would be very unfair.
Yeah, that's why we go with statistics. Everything's always a statistic number. So if
did you say Shan was in the comments here?
She is. And if you feel defensive, then, my grandma always said her hit dogs holler. So, she's a Southern belle, so we can leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, let me pause for the calls real quick. Shan's being real petty right now. She's being real petty. She's actually in the comments. Yeah. But that's fine. Thank you, Shannon, for always showing up.
And Marty Girl says, anytime black men speak passionately, they're said to be angry, violent, threatening. That's correct. Their bodies themselves are
Wait, what did she say? What did she say?
Marty Girl says, anytime black men speak passionately, they're said to be angry, violent, or threatening.
Agree.
And Slash says, if communication is the key, 90% of communication is nonverbal, which brothers express and have always expressed. Slash.
Now, this is where he and I are gonna agree to disagree, because honestly, I believe that you have to express yourself. The average guy will always express himself physically in a physical nature. Yeah. But at some point, you have to use your words. You have to express exactly how you feel. You have to.
Yep.
Because that's how things get misconstrued and misunderstandings and all that stuff. Hey, to be honest with you, I'll be a little bit transparent here. Shan's a great friend of mine. We're always at each other. But the communication between the two of us, we're all getting back and forth. Everybody's expressing themselves in that friendship. Now, I'd be running for the hills if I never expressed myself and she never expressed herself on how she felt. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, you know what? I'm done with this relationship. I'm done with this friendship. Done with it, everything about it. But you have to express yourself, man. You have to say exactly how you feel. Yep. So this is what Slash and I, we rarely disagree, but we'll agree to disagree tonight.
All right. So Marty Gallo says, yes, it's fine to cry and or mourn. As a man, let the tears flow. Wendy Rose said, good evening, everyone. Marty Girl said, good evening, everyone back. Marty Girl said,
hi. Hold on, Wendy.
Oh,
Hey, I appreciate you being a faithful listener, Wendy. She's actually traveling and checking out the conversation. Good stuff.
all right. And Shan said, men of color do have emotions. They don't always have a balance between logic and emotion, but I agree we have not always, as a society, allowed to express themselves.
Who said that?
That's Miss Shan.
Okay, gotcha.
And Miss Shan, you don't want no smoke, Mr. Epic. I suggest you behave.
Oh, even when she's off camera, she giving me headaches. But go ahead.
With Martine, sorry. I don't know why I keep forgetting that's you. My apologies, Martine. And she says my old YouTube account pops up when I log in. All right. Yeah,
That's
so
good stuff.
the whole thing is expressing your emotion and feeling. The problem is that people don't feel, men in particular, don't feel able to be vulnerable to express their emotions.
But here's the thing. Here's the upside to being vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you win. And I'm speaking to the men at this point. This is where you win when you're a little bit vulnerable and you're a little open, and you don't have to go all the way out and be open, but express yourself and say exactly how you feel. Some people who are not on that level, who haven't reached their higher self, they'll be offended by some of the things you being so open. But I mean, I'm telling you, there's a positive side to that.
But here's the thing: men will be open with other men within their friends group. I've seen that in some, and not in all friend groups, but in some friend group, some men will be more open than they would be outside of that friend group.
Right, I get it, and I've seen where there's some guys that they reserve from saying anything.
Yeah,
but when you refrain, be quiet and not express yourself, you're losing.
Yeah,
in my opinion, you're losing.
Well, that's why I have such an issue with this whole alpha male red pill blue pill thing, because it's all BS. Like I was explaining to somebody, they're like, well, lions know they're lions. I'm like, yeah, but lions is not running around going, I'm a lion.
Exactly.
Everybody knows they're lions. They don't have to tell anybody. Like, I told one person, I said, I know who is not a man who is strong in himself, because men who are not strong in themselves will declare it.
Exactly.
A person who is strong in their own individuality.
Here's where men and black men in particular have bought into popular culture, where they place us in this box and we speak from that box.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I refuse to be in a box. I am the box.
Mm-hmm.
I have the mindset that I am the box.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be placed in a box. You're not going to tell me what I can and cannot do, or what I can or cannot say.
Right.
I'm not going to be categorized as you're emotional, you're a black man, you're angry. No, that's not me.
Yeah.
That's not me. And I'm not going to allow nobody to place me in that box.
Yeah.
This is where we lose. Popular culture places us there, and we speak from that box.
Right. So Slash said, school shootings, domestic violence, what's the correlation to black men and their emotions? So black women, when it comes to domestic violence, black women are actually more likely than white women to be killed by their intimate partners. Where is it?
Hey, Slash, offline when we were actually backstage before we came on, she gave me some of those numbers, and as far as with the school shootings, we'll let the viewers know exactly what those numbers are weighing. So that has nothing to do with with us on this side.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that to the viewers to actually know what we're talking about.
Remember the numbers I gave earlier about the rates of violence?
Right.
So black women were murdered by males at a rate of 2.34 per 100 per thousand, more than twice the rate of 0.99 per 100,000 for white women murdered. The vast majority of black women are actually murdered when they're pregnant.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So, and it works out the same. More white women are murdered more when they're pregnant as well, but statistically, the number is higher for black women. So, yeah, it's when you look at the numbers, it's not good. And he goes, what does that have to do with men and their emotions? If you're killing somebody instead of leaving them, there's an emotional issue there. There's
That's
some
an
trauma going on that needs to be examined. And
I
the
agree.
numbers, you can't, you see it all the time. Remember the bailiff on the TV show? He had the blonde judge. I forget the name of it. He ended up murdering his wife.
He's a brother.
Yes. And
Okay.
there's actually a show where they actually did a show where this guy was angry with his wife, and the judge was trying to say, like, not everybody's like that. Some men are happy in their marriages, and pointing to the bailiff, and he's
Right.
like, I've been married 27 years, and like 3 months later he killed her.
Wow.
So,
That had to be emotionally driven. I mean,
yeah.
in order for someone to actually murder someone, and it's got to be a serious trauma issue as well as a serious emotional issue.
Oh yeah. As soon as the vast majority of time is a woman says, I'm done, I'm walking away, it becomes if I can't have you, nobody can.
See, I can't relate to that. Like I mean, I've had my fair share of, hey, don't leave me, wait, let me fix this. But I've never come to think, oh, you know what, if I can't have you, no one will.
Yeah, but you're not violent though.
Yeah. That's a little different for me.
Yeah, I remember I dated one guy when I was much younger, and he raised his hand to me, and I was like, and I broke his arm, and he called the cops on me, and of course, the cop showed up, and the cop's like, what happened? I'm like, he raised his hand to me, and I broke his arm, and the cop went, well, that sounds like self-defense, and he's like, well, I want a record. Yeah, he was. Yeah, big burly football player, and like,
oh, that guy.
Yeah. So this happens to everybody. Like these guys out there, I am sad to say, but it's as a woman, when men do not understand how much we are in fear of men a lot of the time, because we can't trust men, because there's so much violence towards us that we're not always safe in different scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, again, I understand exactly where you're coming from, and there's some weight behind that, and there's a ton of guys that are emotional who does not have the tools to actually get it right. And I mean, the numbers state for themselves, but I just don't know a lot of those guys. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, let me read some comments because I'm about to tell Slash to go. Anyway,
go ahead.
I'm a lady. So Shan says,
yeah, our producer is saying, can we read the comments?
I'm just taking some of Mr. Epic's comments and waiting for that full body mirror to come out. Martine says, dang, Coach D. Slash says, I don't see how those discussions are being lumped in. This topic is double standard type conversation because women have no clue how black men express their emotional language. Yet we're here. Plus the numbers can never speak for black men analytically. I just gave you the numbers for black men analytically, sir. You're killing women.
I think it's the numbers that you're giving is on a variety of situations. So, I mean, I can actually pick out the numbers when you say the type of situations. I could actually pick them out and say, well, yeah, that's a black guy, that's a white guy, and whatnot. So, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I see your comments, Shannon. I totally disagree with you. Thank you.
Yeah, what do you mean? Because women have no clue how black men express their emotional language. If the only emotional language you're expressing is anger and happiness, we know what you're not expressing. If you're not,
let me ask you something. As a woman, how would you prefer your partner, your friend, your whoever express themselves? How would you rather them express themselves?
Honestly and authentically. Like, be yourself. Honestly admit, listen, I'm frustrated at work. I don't like how this is going at home. Tell me what's going on. Nobody can assist if you don't have the information.
Okay.
If you're going to mumble on your breath and keep everything to yourself, nobody's going to help you. Right? You can't fix a problem you don't know about.
And I'm gonna read the comments because she'll probably give me grief on it later on. But she tells me, stop lying. You are absolutely emotional in all caps, sir.
What was that? Where's that at?
That's Shannon. She's private messages.
Oh, okay. And Shan said, now, once I agree with Mark, I don't believe we least understand how our men express their emotions. It's not always the way we think they should. But it's not, there's no one way to express emotions. What I'm saying is they're not expressing them, period. If you're not expressing anything and you expect people to read your mind about what's going on, nobody can help you. That's a lack of communication. Right?
I honestly believe that that's an individual thing. As far as we can't lump all men or all black men in that category of being, not emotionally driven or what have you. That's an individual thing. Like I speaking on my brother.
Yeah.
He knows that he cannot control his emotions. Period. He can't.
Remember, I'm always speaking statistically. So
I got you.
It's a generalization. It's not individuals.
I got you. But I think that there is a problem with men not expressing themselves because honestly, you guys are going to hate me for this one. The reason why these women are out of line because you don't express yourself the proper way. And I'm just going to go on ride on D train wagon here for a second. It's not you guys are not being honest with these women and telling them exactly how you feel and what she's doing, how she's making you feel. You're not being honest about it. Most of you guys out there are attempting to stay on the good side of things. I don't want to disrupt the flow of things. No, you need to tell her if she's screwing up, you need to tell it to her. You need to say it to her. If you don't like something that she does not do, say it to her.
Mm-hmm.
Tell her and be straight up with her. It'll bruise her in the beginning, but she'll learn to, appreciate it in the end.
And it goes both ways. Both sides have to communicate with each other.
Exactly.
And
so honestly, and Mark's gonna be on me for this, but again, the shared responsibility. Men have to take responsibility for the way these women are acting out online, doing all that foolishness and all that stuff. Yeah, I'm hold on a second. I know I was going to get some hate mail for this, but most women are acting like that because these guys are not being straight up with them. Just let them know, hey, man, cut that foolishness out. Stop it. Be a little softer and then you'll get me. Be a little softer and I'll come to you. I'll be a soft place to land if you be a little softer. Right. But most men will not communicate that. So this is where I'm talking about, we go back to the communication thing. Most men won't communicate that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Well, Martine says he needs to be honest and not harsh with me. Shan says, I also believe that some men believe that expressing emotion is a weakness. We need to get beyond that. That's true.
That's true. I'm
not going to stand around waiting for a guy to finally open up. I'll work with him for a little bit and I deserve to be spoken with. That's Martine. Slash says, is Princess Coach D speaking for all the black men? Black men are men, not numbers. Please overstand truth with grace. Sir, I speak to thousands of people a year. When I say statistically, I've done the research on those statistics. I've talked to those men.
Stash, I gotta be straightforward. I gotta be honest. She a heavy coach, man. She has she has a plethora of clients, and I gotta vouch for that one. So
I'm not gonna play with him because he's gonna that red hair come out. That's not a pretty sight once the Irish gets up. So.
She heavy on it. So yeah. I'm gonna go with her numbers because I know she's passionate about it. And when she brought it up, I knew that she would. Yeah. I knew she had the research before she even did the show. So yeah, she's pretty heavy on it.
I love my black men. I love you all to death, but sometimes I want to throttle you all because you're not like it's like talking to a brick wall sometimes. Like I talk to men.
But just some of them.
Some of you need a good smack in the side of the head. And I am a nonviolent person, but sometimes I'm just like, you know what? You have all the information here. Just open your mind and listen to what people are telling you. Right?
Exactly.
You can talk to people.
I'll say this. Most men, in particular, most black men, that's what I'm speaking on because that's what I know.
Mm-hmm.
Most black men, that popular culture placed us in a box, and that's the box that we're speaking from. That's the box that we're speaking from. When I say we, I'm talking about us as a whole. There's some of us, like myself, I'm an individual.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm the first. Yeah, I understand fully how staying alive has silenced so many black men.
Yeah, and I don't think, and they don't have the tools to understand how to get out of that box.
Yeah.
And this is why I create platforms like this. This is why this platform has been in place for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So that we could actually speak and be open about the things, because we have a tough time as black men, to be honest with you.
You do.
So it's not all the blame shouldn't be placed at their doorsteps. You know what I'm saying? But I have a responsibility to my brother as a brother's keeper to actually let them know, hey, listen, man, your coattail's showing.
Yeah.
Stop speaking from that box.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to come outside of that box.
Yeah, exactly. So let me go back to the comments. Martine says, no grunts and silent tantrums and half speaking. And then she says, my gosh. Slash says, I'm going to say this for the cheap seats. Men deal in facts, women deal in emotions. Sir, you know what? I'm not even going to deal with you tonight because I will just leave. Martine says, right. And that's one of the main reasons a lot of us black women remain single. You know what?
But here's the thing, though. Let's just be honest and fair. And I'm sure just like Martine and Shannon, all you guys know that, it's a huge problem as far as with black men not opening up.
Yeah.
So, are you guys willing to say, hey, I see you, let's talk about it, instead of knocking them all the time?
Oh yeah, I'm not the knocking personality.
Right.
I want conversation and openness and vulnerability.
Exactly, and that's where the major problem is. Where it's like, and I think the guys don't know how to express themselves and say exactly what's on their mind because they've been in this box for so long.
Yeah. And here's the thing that a lot, and I don't even want to know how many conversations this comes up. So many times, black women are telling me that black men don't want to listen to what they're saying. They don't want to hear what they're saying when they say, listen, you need to talk to me about this. And then they'll turn around and they'll talk to outside of the black community.
I get it. And that's the wrong thing to do.
Like, you know what? It's our black. I love seeing black love. It there's a video on TikTok where there's an older couple and she made him some chicken salad. And she's like, Pops, come taste the chicken salad. And we all know he already know what it tastes like.
I think I saw that. that.
And he says, it needs a little spice and leans in for a kiss. And I'm like, I see that. And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Right.
But I see so much hatred where men are like, they don't want to talk to black women because so many black women are now becoming involved in personal development, and
I believe
expectations are higher.
I believe that they're frustrated because they don't have the tools to actually express themselves, and they don't know how to come out of that box.
Yeah.
And I didn't plan for this conversation to go this way, but since it's going this way, this is what it is. We just have to acquire the tools to come out of the box.
Yeah, like
these women to get a little softer if you come out of that box, I guarantee you.
I think soft is the wrong term we need to use. Because
why?
I think there is strength in being vulnerable. There is strength in being open and
No, I'm talking about the soft as far as the woman. I'm not talking about the man.
Yeah, but Yeah. You don't need to be soft.
Who don't need to be soft?
We don't. It's I find that the whole be soft, be masculine, just be yourself.
Here's the thing. That's cool. I totally agree with that. But a man wants some be a little soft. I mean, be a little soft. You get what I'm saying when I say that?
Sir,
You know
I
what I
am
mean?
so soft, most men can't handle it. They don't understand what an actual woman who is raised in a traditional family by and knows, like, I had a guy tell me, he goes, you know how to do embroidery? I'm like, yeah, I can embroider, I can make lace, I can goods. I was raised to be the typical old-fashioned wife. And men are like, well, I don't know how to deal with that. I'm like, yeah, because none of you are looking for what you say you were looking for.
You have no problem being softy.
It's like,
So Dee, you have no problem being soft.
No, I don't.
Okay.
But the same thing, I require somebody who can have conversations about anything.
Exactly.
So sometimes that means you need to have conversations about your emotions. If I'm doing something that makes you mad, tell me. I'm not going to be able to guess.
Here's the thing. My requirements, my personal requirements. You be a little soft and I'll give you a soft place to land.
Okay. Perfect.
It's very simple. Very simple. It's very simple. Those are my requirements. You be a little soft. I'll give you a soft place to land.
All right.
That's what most women want. They don't want to land on a hard surface.
No. But they want a surface that's going to be understanding. That's going to listen.
That comes along with that balancing of emotions and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So let me do some comments, then we do a quick break.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So Martine says, right, and that's on the man remains, the main reasons a lot of black women remain single, emotionally unavailable black men. That's what the one therapist was fussing about, the sister they'd reported and gotten her license yanked. She was on TikTok. Yeah.
Right.
Shann says, at Mark, now come on, sir, are you really going to make that type of blanket statement? You cannot be serious. There are plenty of examples on the contrary. And Shann says, yes, at Martine, there are many emotionally unavailable men of all races. Martine, I can only work with a brother for so long. I love my black men. Yep. Right. It seems to be several of our men are envious of our self-improvement and desires to grow and elevate. Be yourself. Yep.
True.
Let's do a quick break and then we'll get back and continue on. I'm fired up now.
Sounds good. We'll be back on the other side of the break, folks.
Slash behaves.
Thanks for tuning in to Conversations with Trent. We will be right back with more conversation after these commercial breaks.
If the lion is the king of the jungle, how can he be the king of the jungle? If he's not the biggest, the elephant is probably one of the biggest. He can't be the fastest because that's a cheetah. He can't be the smartest. So he's not the biggest, the fastest, or the smartest. So how does a lion become the king of the jungle? His mentality.
Check out the creative work of the author Trent Williams of www.taylorkennedymedia.com. chapter of the Delta gives us a peek at his life-changing events. And if that's not enough, Trent tells you more about his brothers and his life through memoirs in his book, The Four Horsemen. His blogs and daily stimulating quotes are published in his book, Life's Little Addiction. And when you have a need of some human coaching of life and relationships, take a look at Conversations with Trent, Volume 1 and 2, and Conversations with Trent, Limited Edition. You will find his works available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all online book retailers.
Welcome back to Conversations with Trent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're online and want to be a part of tonight's topic, you can do that by dialing 347-324-5327. Press the number 1 to get into the queue so that your voice can be added to tonight's conversation. Now, let's get back to the show.
TabsEdibleCreations.com is a spot for the overload cookies. I saw Shannon doing that thing online. Looked like Martine picked up a couple of cookies there. So good stuff, man. I saw that. It's good to see. Great to see that folks are supporting the cause and supporting Shannon's business. TabsEdibleCreation.com is a spot for your overloaded cookies. My favorite Detroit. I hope you enjoyed the cookies. Good stuff. And also Al sells famous wings and wing sauce as well. And of course, Taylor Kenny Media with the literary works and all that good stuff. Good stuff. We're back.
So I got some more comments, and then we'll get back into it. Flash says, I was raised by men who were the strong, silent type. My grandfather, father, uncles, and men that helped raise men. Men and women are different and communicate and understand differently. That's what society tells you. It's not true. Our brains don't work like our brains are not that different. Tammy says, hello, panel, late but here. Shan said hi to Tammy. They're just saying hi back and forth now.
Hey, Tammy, what's up?
Here's the thing. Society has been pushing this narrative that men and women communicate differently, that men are logical, women are emotional. Here's the reason why. The patriarchy requires that men be above women in order to maintain control. But when you look statistically and generally at history, and who is the most emotional, who starts the most wars, who are the most violent, it's not women. It's men.
I get your point, and you come in with the numbers. And I'll go back to this whole thing that I was talking about. Mm-hmm. Where popular culture have placed us in this box, and this is where we're speaking from. And honestly, if we're not careful, women as well, they'll speak from that same box, inside that box. Yeah. We just have to know how to get out of that box. We have to acquire the knowledge to get out of that box.
Yeah. Society has done a great disservice to humanity and societal norms, because societal norms are based on one main group maintaining power.
Exactly.
In order to maintain power, all these other groups have to be suppressed. And one of the easiest way to suppress people is to suppress their voice. When you suppress somebody's voice, they don't move. They can't.
I truly believe that. We as a people, we've been speaking from this box for so long that it's become normal. Like this is our normal. Yeah. It's normal to us. We normalized thinking how other people think and speaking how other people speak. I refuse to live in that box. I refuse to be placed in that box. Yeah. Nah, that's not me. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not an emotional person. Sometimes I'm emotional, I'm passionate. Let's just say I'm passionate about some of the things that I believe in. I'm very passionate about it. But I have a balance with that. Yeah. And this is what we need to learn.
I have people in my social justice circles who some people will complain that I'm too passionate. And I don't believe in respectability politics. I'm like, being nice has not served us well for the last 400 years. MLK was killed in a suit being nice. I'm like, I am going to say what I think, when I think it, and how I think it. And not everybody's going to appreciate that. I have privilege in that because I'm lighter and my hair is long, I can get away with saying more than one of my beautiful darker skinned sisters.
So I think we just have to, as a people, we have to differentiate the two, man, from being emotional and compassionate and being passionate about how you feel. That we have to differentiate the two. There's nothing emotional about that.
Yeah, I think we lose where we don't where we often get labeled angry when it's just being passionate, like having a discussion. Like I have never heard in some of my Canadian discussions amongst white people anybody being called angry, because it's not a stereotype towards them. They can have as passionate discussion as they want, whereas we will actually limit ourselves for fear of that stereotype being labeled. But amongst ourselves, there's no need to limit ourselves when we're talking amongst ourselves. And so often I see Black men not speaking up in spaces where they have that space to speak up.
Well, they have a space now, and I'm just going to say it. They have a space now. Tam and I have created B2GUnityTV.com, where these guys can come on here. Anybody's welcome to come on, speak their mind, say what they got to say. We're not censored over here at all. But I don't believe in just putting a muzzle on things, man. If you're feeling it, just say it.
Yeah,
whether it be a romantic relationship, whether it be a friendship or whatever, just say it.
We're not always going to agree, but the fact that we can have the conversation without anybody getting upset and storm and calling each other names and everything is the key. Is just passionate conversation and discussion.
So we can we agree that it's not emotions, it's passion?
What's that for?
It's something like when like the word emotion, that's kind of heavy, man, to be placing on someone. Oh, your emotions, you don't know how to handle your emotion. No, you don't know how to handle your passion.
I think it's a lack of communication tools is the word we need.
Okay.
Tools and coping skills, I think, is the word that we need, because we know our Black men can communicate. Y'all are poets.
Absolutely, thank you. I appreciate that.
Like culturally, I know very few Black men who cannot spit out some lyrics or some poetry or slide some smooth words by. Culturally, we are really good at that. That's, I will give you that.
Slides does it every Wednesday and Sunday. He does it every Wednesday and Sunday.
Yeah. So, I think it's tools that are missing that need to be taught. And because the skills are there, it's just, it needs to be refined within our relationships.
Need to be taught by us, though. Let's just say that need to be taught by us.
Yeah, of course, by us. Because remember, our relationships, were kept apart during slavery purposely to break down the families. And then even after Jim Crow, when GIs came back from World War II, there was laws put in place that Black women who were staying at home because they could now afford to stay at home were put to work because white women didn't have domestic help. So Black women were by law forced to go to jobs. So
again, it always goes back to the box. Everything that you're speaking on, you're really speaking on the box that we were placed in.
Yeah.
It goes back to that box, man. And I just want my people to understand that it's okay to come out of that box.
A lot of people
doesn't matter what popular culture said. Say that again.
A lot of people don't know they're in a box.
I agree. That's our job to actually show them that they're in that box. And that's our job to actually reach in and get them and pull them out of that box.
Right. So
I'm responsible for my brother.
Let me get back to the comments. So Martin says, society has so many of us looking crazy, confused, and missing out on great things in this life. True. Slash says, some men do many things. Let's not pen this emotionalness on just brothers. Psychology today, boys are born with similar emotional capacity as girls. Emotional fluency is discouraged growing older. Sir, I've been telling you that since day one about boys. Have you not been listening to me? Right. Then Martine says, missing out and connecting with good people. Let me see. Tammy says, this is deep for me. I just lost my son to, I just lost my son to a very emotional man last month. This was literally the worst experience of my life. Yeah. I'm so sorry to hear that. My condolences, family. Part 2 from Slash. Men can relearn and reclaim their feelings through self-confrontation and trusted partner. Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Martine says, I remember being subscribed to various magazines and got tired of all these articles on who, what we need to be and why and what part in life. And I've been told that I care too much, whatever that means, for us, by us. Have you all seen the old film Goodbye, Uncle Tom? I have not seen that.
Who said that? Martine or Mark?
Martine says, Goodbye, Uncle Tom. And Shan says, still waiting for the full body mirror, Mr. Epic. And Shan says he ain't listening, Coach D. Listen, when I will preach to the day I die that we are doing our sons a disservice.
Right.
You know what I mean? Telling our son, giving our sons the emotional freedom from the time they're babies to share their emotions. It teaches them how to communicate, how to share their emotions, how to express what they're feeling. And by not allowing that, we end up with men who can't do it.
Let me express my feelings here for a second and address
Sure.
the viewer for tonight, Shannon, from the comment section. The full-length mirror. I'm always displaying that mirror, but I'm not going to agree with you on me being emotional.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about anything that I do, anything I dive into. I'm very passionate. So I'm not emotional. Emotional, if I care about folks, I'm very passionate about it. I get emotional. That's what you say. But I'm very passionate about certain things.
You should start a men's group.
You know, I think I should.
Like a safe space for men where to be open and vulnerable, like listen to each other and talk.
Here's the thing, and he's gonna get upset with me for saying this tonight, but if I could actually place my brother in a great space, and those who like Slash know my brother, Shannon know my brother, you know my brother D, y'all know this guy, not that type of guy, but he's in a different space now. If I could do it with him, I know I could do it with anybody.
Okay, so let me address his last comment. He says, now the conversation has shifted, yet Prince Coach D threatened to walk out prior to the break saying, I'm the lady, I should behave. Sounds like high-level emotions to moi. Sisters saying they want brother. Sir, the reason I said I'm going to behave because I was going to call you out of your name for not paying attention to what is being said. And I was going to be polite and just leave it alone. But now, since you want to point it out, I will state that from the beginning, I have been saying that men need a safe space to communicate and that we're doing our boys a great disservice. Now, we can talk about emotion or we can talk about passion. Now, you can continue if you would like, but I am not going to go there with you. I will leave it alone and allow you to stay on whatever little tangent you're on and continue on with the conversation. All right.
Thanks to Brandy, my trusty assistant for the Ginger Juice weekly. She does 2 gallons a week for me.
For water?
It's ginger juice, the ginger and lemon juice.
Oh, have you tried do you put turmeric in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The turmeric helps with inflammation.
Yeah.
Listen, yeah. I think a men's group would be really good idea, so that people will feel like they have a space that they can share and talk and communicate.
And here's fellas, and I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to take Dee's advice for this, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this. If I start a men's group, here's the upside to it. A ton of women will follow for you single guys. A ton of women will follow. And we could turn it into a whole situation dating thing for you guys and whatnot. But if I start a men's group on healing men, a ton of women will follow. I'm telling you facts.
Yeah, because it has been shown, there's been studies on it, that the expectations out there now that men are doing their work, that they're doing their self-improvement, that they're looking within, because society is not so much, society itself has moved away from this rugged individualism and more into a community aspect.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing now. Who benefits most by us being unhealed? Think about it.
Those in power.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. And the power is going to shift because the numbers are shifting.
Absolutely.
So if culturally as a group, we have immense power. When Black women have shut down entire companies over products that that were marketed incorrectly towards us, because we have buying power, and companies now know, thanks to COVID, that we have buying power. So when we combine as a group, we are very powerful.
And actually,
we're not cohesive.
I'm very, very happy you brought that up in the last hour. Then we'll get to the teachable moment. Okay. On Sunday, we're going to have crypto chemist on, Link Green. And he's going to be talking about the Web3. He's a Web3 educator. He talked to Bitcoins, all that good stuff. He actually helped the good folks over in Kenya when they were going through their thing with the folks who actually, the Kenyan government was bringing in foreigners, purchasing land, and the Kenyan couldn't buy their own land. But he spearheaded a group over there to help them buy the land back. And he's a deep brother, real deep brother. He'll be on Sunday with us. And he's, like I said, he's a Web3 educator. And this is what we're moving into. You know that, Dee.
Yeah,
moving into Web3. And we need to be educated. We have to have the knowledge. We need to have the tools to be ready for this Web3. On Sunday, he's going to be in. His name is Link Green. He'll be on Sunday.
We need to have a lot more conversations about financial literacy within our community.
Absolutely.
We're consumers, but we're not producers.
Oh, we coming.
We need to flip the script where we're producing more products than we are consuming.
Absolutely.
Martine says that don't forget the conversation on religion.
Oh, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get to it, Martine. We're gonna definitely get to it. I thought that it would be. I thought that Sunday would be a perfect time to bring in the crypto chemist, Link himself, Link Green. He's done some wonderful things over the years internationally. And he was introduced to me by Brother Ramiel, Ross Speaks. So Ross Speaks thought it would be a great idea to bring the brother through so we could educate us on the Web3. So good stuff. And then we'll get back to talking about those what are we gonna call that show?
The religion show?
Yeah.
Listen, man. I have a whole novel that's half written about prophets for profit.
Exactly. Pimps in the pulpit. So we'll get to that one on. We'll get to that one on the following Wednesday.
Yeah.
We'll do the pimps in the pulpit on a Wednesday coming, and on Sunday we're gonna have Link Green on. Go ahead. What you saying now?
I said there's lots of conversations to be had.
Absolutely, man. But this is a good one, man. This is a real good one. I think I'm gonna start that group. You
know what? Our men so desperately need groups where they can talk to each other. Because so many will not go to therapy, but they'll sit around with a bunch of guys and they'll chat it out.
Right. So, again, I'll stress this again, fellas, for the single guys. I'll stress this again. I start that group. I guarantee you these women will follow.
Oh, yeah. If a guy starts a conversation with, well, in my men's group, we were discussing, I am paying attention to what this man is saying. Because that tells me that he is out there getting information from other people. And he's discussing personal development and all this stuff. So I'm like,
exactly. And here's the upside to that again, fellas. Quality women will follow. Trust me on that. I'm telling you.
Shann, Pimps in the Pulpit. I'm excited. Listen, y'all. Some of y'all gonna hate me at the end of that one. You are not gonna like me at all.
I'm familiar with your background, so I know exactly where you're gonna go with this. Yeah. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting. So again, folks, B2G Unity TV, brought to you by Butterfly Evolution and Taylor Kennedy Media combined. Better TV together. That's B2GUnityTV.com is a spot for all the conversations, for Dee's meditation, for Shann's cookies, all that good stuff. Tammy's actually she started her show back up on next Tuesday. So we'll be streaming live from the website. So we'll be able to stream. We're able to now stream from b2gunitytv.com for the conversation. We're uncensored. We're unleashed. I guarantee you guys are going to enjoy it. And for right now, you can go to the browser and hit the on demand. Everything over there is free right now. Mm-hmm. So it's all good. It's all good in the hood. You be able to get the meditation, all that good stuff. But at some point, I'm going to lock it. But right now, everything's on demand.
Sound like a drug dealer, man. Just giving you a taste.
Hey, you know how it is. You know how it is. So the teachable moment. My teachable moment tonight is not emotional. Mm-hmm. Passionate. Mm-hmm. Very passionate. Not emotional. I'm not speaking from emotion. I'm speaking from a passion.
Okay. And my teachable moment is that we all need communication tools and skills and coping mechanisms to help us to communicate with other people.
Good stuff. Good stuff. You want to catch a couple of comments? Give them the last comments.
Martin just said, don't forget about the conversation of religion. Yes, financial freedom. Oh, pimps in the pulpit. I'm excited. Shan said, yes, start the men's group. I'll follow the group. Go ahead and start it. Slash said, I was just being passionate in my research and comments as always. A wise knows truth without grace is just being mean.
Hey, you gotta love Slash. He keeps the conversation going. He keeps the conversation going.
Y'all are just trying to see how far you can push me before I lose my temper. That's all.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I love you all.
Yeah, one more thing before I forget, man. Shout out to Cubs Giving Hands. With all the donations that came in, we was able to take care of a whole bunch of folks and do some great things, man. Good stuff. Cubs Giving Hands over in St. Louis, Missouri. We're doing wonderful things within the community there. We're going to be bringing Cubs Giving Hands to the New Orleans area. We're starting out in Holly Grove, where we're going to dress up all these men, help them out, teach them how to fill out applications to get jobs, online training, and haircuts as well. So we're going to dress them up. We're coming with clothes and take care of everybody. So Cubs Giving Hands coming to New Orleans. We're starting off in Holly Grove to get it started here. So good stuff.
I'm knitting some hats for charity. Do you guys need some?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Text me an address and I'll box up. I think I have like 24 made right now. My goal is for 100 this year. So I think I have like 24 made. Give me an address and I'll box them up and I'll send them up.
I got you. Good stuff. Appreciate that. Thank you, man. Cubs Giving Hands. Thanks you. Good stuff. Thank you.
Well, I have to go get Mr. Man to bed because I'm sure he is just looking at the clock, trying to elongate his night, and he needs to get to school. 6:30 comes early, and he is not a morning man.
So great conversation tonight, folks, and we'll see you guys on Sunday with Link Green, the actual Web3 educator. So we're going to be talking about some financial literacy. We're going to get this thing going. Good stuff.
Okay. All right, love you guys.
Okay.
Bye.
So we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to b2gunitytv.com. That's Butterfly Evolution and Taylor Kennedy Media combined. So you guys be epic, and we'll see you on the other side of Sunday for another conversation. Good stuff. You guys take care. Be epic.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.